Hey guys, welcome to your 2.3 notes on solving multi-step equations. By the end of the day, you will be able to solve multi-step equations with one variable. Basically, what we're doing is taking stuff you already know and making it into a bigger problem. So let's look at this guy, and we want to simplify him best we can. We just want to make our lives simpler. So what we're going to do is we're going to do this fancy little thing called combining like terms. Now when you have like terms are terms that have the same variable and with the same exponent. So what we're going to do is we're going to find things that are the same and combine them all together. For example, I see that we have negative 2x and negative 3x. Those are like terms. And x, those are like terms as well. Oh, and guess what? 4 and 1, they don't even have a variable, so they're just constants. They're like terms. All constants are going to be like terms. Okay. So these are all like terms because they have the same variable, x, or not a variable, and they're the same exponent, which means we don't have any like x squareds or anything. Now when we want to combine like terms, I personally like to do one little trick that makes my life just a little bit easier, and that's getting rid of all the negatives and writing each term with a plus. So 4 is the same. This minus 2x becomes plus negative 2x plus 1 plus negative 3x equals 5 plus x plus negative 2. Then when I actually go through and combine like terms, it's going to make the math just a little bit easier. So first I'm going to combine terms that are variables together. And that'll give me negative 2x, negative 2x plus negative 3x is negative 5x. And we still have plus 4 plus 1 equals, and then here 2x's is 2x. Then we have plus 5 plus negative 2. So once we've got that, we can combine the other like terms, which are just our numbers that are left. So the numbers that are left are 4 and 1, and then 5 and negative 2. So 4 plus 1 is 5, a positive 5, and 5 plus negative 2 is a positive 3. Bringing our other variables down, we've got negative 5x equals 2x plus 3. So there you have it. This is as simplified as you get without actually beginning to solve the problem. Isn't that great? That's what we're going to do when we solve equations with multiple steps. We're basically just gonna simplify, and simplify some more until we can't simplify anymore. Okay. So our very first step, remember, is we want to simplify. So in our first example, let's simplify this right side a lot more. The 5 is going to be the same. 5 equals, but look, we have two like terms. We've got 5m and 2m. 5m plus 2m are like terms. So 5m plus 2m, and then we have minus 23. 5m plus 2m is just, is 7m. So we have 5 equals 7m minus 23. Super, that's a lot easier. how can we solve this equation? Well, we're trying to get m all by itself, so we're going to add 23 to both sides. On the right side, they'll cancel each other out, so that's really nice. We're left with 7m equals 5 plus 23 is 28. Oh dear. And now we're almost done in our quest to get this m all by itself. We will not subtract 7, we will divide by 7 on both sides. 28 divided by 7 is 4, so 4 equals m. Cool, and that's everything in a nutshell. Just simplify, and then, oh yeah, simplify and undo to isolate the variable. Okay, so let's say that I can go to a concert. I'm going to take my nieces with me, and I want to buy them t-shirts and necklaces. The necklaces cost $1 each. And Corey wants June wants 2 shirts, no necklaces. Corey wants 1 shirt, but a bunch of necklaces. This girl loves necklaces, you guys. My bill comes out to $67. So how much did the shirts cost? Well, let's find out. What did everyone want? Well, Junebug wanted, what did she say? She loves pink, so we'll make this pink. June wants 2 shirts and no necklaces. So we'll say June gets 2 shirts. Sweet. And Corey Girl wanted 1 shirt and 4 necklaces. So Corey gets 4 shirts. I'm sorry, 1 shirt. I lied. 1 shirt and 4 necklaces. Cool? Cool. And we know that when we add those prices up together, that will end up being $67. And we also know how much the necklaces cost. The necklaces cost $1 each. We don't know how much the shirts cost, so we're going to say let S be the cost of 1 shirt. So we're just going to abbreviate. Instead of writing shirt all the time, it'll just be S. So here we go. We've got this new equation. It says 2S plus 1S plus 4 times 1 is 4 equals 67. Now let's solve it. In solving it, we'll want to get S all by itself, but first let's combine like terms. We have 2 S's here, and then 2 S terms here. 2S plus 1S gives us a total of 3 S's plus 4 equals 67. We want to get S by itself. So our first step here is to subtract 4 from both sides. Those will cancel out on the left, leaving us with just 3S. And 67 minus 4 is 63. Now we divide. We're still trying to get S by itself. So we're going to divide by 3 on both sides to get rid of this 3. Divide by 3, divide by 3. And that tells us that the shirts are $21 each. Those are pretty expensive, but I love my nieces and I am willing to spend a lot of money on them. Cool? Cool. Okay, we have 2 more examples. We have 3 more examples left. How do you go about solving this one? Well, we have 2 choices. One, you could simplify by distributing the -8 into both sides. So you say -8 times 2x minus -8 times 1. However, we could also just divide both sides by -8. And I vote we do it that way. This would cause our, -8. This would cause our -8 and our -8 to cancel out, leaving us with 2x minus 1 equals 36 divided by -8. Oh, but that doesn't go in evenly, you guys. Oh, yuck. Okay, let's distribute it instead. Just kidding, just kidding, just kidding, just kidding. Oh, that didn't even work. Just kidding. Okay, we'll distribute. Distribute this negative 8 into both sides. So we have negative 8 times 2x minus negative 8 times 1 equals 36. So we got negative 8 times 2x, negative 8 times 1. Gives us negative 16x plus 8 equals 36. Now remember, we're trying to get this x all by itself. So let's undo that by subtracting 8 from both sides. We'll cancel out on the left, leaving us with negative 16x equals, this is still not going to work out nice. Oh well. Leaving us with 28, and we're still trying to get our x all by itself. So we'll undo negative 16 times with a divide by negative 16 on both sides, and we're left with x equals negative 28 over 16. They're both divisible by 4, so we can factor out a 4 from each of them, remembering that negative 28 is negative 7 times 4, and 16 is 4 times 4. So these will reduce out, leaving us with just negative 7/4. Cool. Now what happens if so that's how to use the distributive property. What happens if we have some gross fractions going on? How can we make our lives easier? Well, we could try to subtract these together, but you guys, they don't have common denominators. So would we want to try to find a common denominator and figure out, okay, well, 4 and 3, they both go into 12, so I want to multiply this times 3 and this times 4, and no, we're not going to do that. But instead, we're going to multiply both sides overall times 12. So we're going to take this 3x divided by 4 minus x over 3. This whole thing we know is equal to 10. Now let's multiply both sides by 12. So multiply this by 12 and this by 12. Why? Because this 12 will reduce out with the 4 and it will reduce out with the 3. So using our distributive property, that's the same thing as multiplying 12 times 3x over 4 and 12 times x over 3 is 120. Yay. Okay, now, why was that so nice? Well, this 12 and this 4 are going to cancel out, leaving us with just 3. And this 12 and this 3 are going to cancel out, leaving us with just 4. 3 times 3x is 9x. 4 times x is 4x equals 120. Hey look, we have some like terms, and we can combine them. So 9x minus 4x, or rather I should have highlighted the other thing. Since they both have an x in common, that's the same thing as 9 minus 4 times x, which is 120, and 9 minus 4 is 5. If 5x equals 120, that's a much simpler equation. Yay! Again, our end game is to get x all by itself. To undo what's happening to our x, we divide by 5 on both sides. Though our 5's will cancel out, leaving us with just x. That was the whole point. And 120 divided by 5 is a nice number of 24. Isn't that great? So what we did up here was we took this pretty gross and complicated equation and we found an equivalent equation. Oh, I went too far. We found an equivalent equation that was much simpler. It just made our lives so much easier. Simpler. Yay. You guys, please make your lives easier on yourselves. Okay, here's one more example. Look at this guy. Look at this decimal. Ugh, blech, gross. No, thank you. I do not like decimals. Let's not do that. So we see that these decimals go over 1, 2 spaces, over 1, and over 2 spaces. So what we're going to do to multiply those, we're going to multiply by something to get rid of those decimals. So let's multiply by 100. If we multiply this whole equation times 100, that'll get rid of the decimals, making our lives so much easier. So we've got 3.5 minus 0.02x equals 1.24. And like we said, let's multiply both sides times 100. And in doing so, literally all we do is move the decimal places back. So multiplying by 100 is the same thing as going whoop, whoop with the decimal, whoop, whoop with the decimal, and whoop, whoop with the decimal. We're moving that decimal over twice to the right, giving us 350 minus 2x equals 124. Super. Okay, you know how to solve this equation. If we're trying to get x all by itself, let's undo what's happening to our x. What's the first thing happening? Well, we've got 350 added here. So let's undo that by subtracting 350 on both sides. Keeping it even, keeping it equal. Those will reduce. We are left with just negative 2x equals, what is 124 minus 350? Awesome. And now we're almost there. We want to undo that negative 2x. So let's divide by negative 2, divide by negative 2. Everything on the left cancels out, leaving us with just x. And then here on the right, our negatives cancel out. All those even numbers, we'll just divide them all by 2, and there we get it's 113. So it started out looking really complicated, but guess what, guys? You just go through life taking care of the little things, and then, it's so much simpler. Okay. So just simplify, do the little baby steps, and you will figure it out as you go. Simplify and solve. Have a fantastic time on your homework. See you later.